All right, dive in with me for a second. Imagine decentralized finance, but snappier than your average cup of coffee.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this.
That's what we're looking at today, Raydium.
Okay.
A project taking a swing at some of DeFi's peskiest problems.
DeFi has seen incredible growth, but yeah, those speed bumps and
Ah,
roadblocks,
they're real.
they're real. Radium's approach is definitely turning heads.
They lay it all out in their light paper, and you know I love a good light paper deep dive.
Always fun.
Radium jumps right in, building on what AMMs like Uniswap have already done, but with a few twists.
Uniswap really changed the game by proving that automated trading on the blockchain was viable, right?
Hmm.
Radium takes that concept and asks, how can we make this even better, even smoother for the everyday user?
Because, let's be real, sometimes DeFi feels like it's built for robots, not humans, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Radium calls out those pain points directly.
Yeah.
Section 2 of the light paper reads like a frustrated tweet thread. Crazy high gas fees on Ethereum. We're talking over $100 just to dip your toes into liquidity pools.
Which, as you can imagine, prices out a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's like charging a cover charge at the door of a free concert.
Right.
Radium also points out the waiting game transactions crawling through the blockchain like rush hour traffic, sometimes taking 30 minutes or more.
I can barely wait 30 minutes for pizza delivery. Are you kidding?
Right.
And then there's the lack of features that, frankly, feel standard issue on any other platform.
Yeah.
Limit orders, for example.
Of course.
And this whole issue of liquidity being scattered across different platforms. Talk about fragmentation.
It's like trying to put together a puzzle where the pieces are spread out across different rooms. Radium sees all of this
Yeah.
and decides to rebuild the puzzle on a whole new table.
Enter Solana Radium's answer to the Ethereum speed limit.
Solana is known for its speed and scalability. We're talking a mind-blowing 65,000 transactions per second.
Oh, okay. That number still blows my mind every time I hear it. For our listeners keeping score, that's fast. But speed isn't Radium's only trick.
Right.
They've partnered up with Project Serum, which opens up a whole world of possibilities, particularly when it comes to cross-chain compatibility. Have I piqued your interest yet?
Absolutely. This is where things get really interesting. Radium isn't just building on Solana. They're deeply integrated with Serum, which has some very unique advantages.
Buckle up, because we're diving into the features that really make Radium stand out, starting with order books. Now, this is where they differentiate themselves from the typical AMM model.
Right. Most AMMs rely solely on liquidity pools.
Right.
Radium, however, utilizes Serum's central limit order book, which gives you, the user, much more transparency. Imagine being able to see all the buy and sell orders laid out, just like you would on a traditional exchange.
Okay, I'm picturing it now, so I'm not just interacting with a pool of tokens.
You're seeing the orders.
I'm seeing actual orders, which means...
You have the potential for better prices and tighter spreads. It's about efficiency, giving you the opportunity to potentially get more bang for your buck.
No, that's what I'm talking about. But it gets even more intriguing. Radium isn't just letting users trade directly on Serum's order book. They're taking on a whole other role.
Exactly. They've cleverly positioned themselves as a market maker. They're using the constant product formula, yes, but instead of simply facilitating swaps within their own pools, they're placing orders on Serum's order book.
Hold on, so Radium is like a super efficient robot trader working behind the scenes, making sure there's always liquidity and optimal prices.
Precisely. And they've even incorporated the Fibonacci sequence into their market-making strategy.
Okay, you've officially piqued my curiosity. Fibonacci sequence, as in the spiral thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a math whiz here. Break it down for me. How does that even work in the context of DeFi?
I hear you. It sounds a bit out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually quite elegant. The Fibonacci sequence helps them fine-tune their order placement, creating a more balanced and efficient distribution across the price curve. Think of it like perfectly spacing out stepping stones across a river.
So, by using the Fibonacci sequence, Radium is ensuring that there's always a stepping stone, or in this case, a buy or sell order, available at the right price.
Exactly. It's all about optimizing liquidity and making the market more efficient. But let's move on to another feature that's going to get our listeners excited.
Because who doesn't love a bit of optimization? Hit me with it.
Let's talk about swaps, because at the end of the day, most users just want a smooth, seamless experience when they're swapping one token for another.
Absolutely. And this is where Solana speed really comes into play, right?
Without a doubt. Remember those lightning-fast transaction speeds we talked about?
Yeah.
And the low fees? Swapping tokens on Radium is like taking the express train compared to the horse-drawn carriage of other platforms.
So even if you're not a DeFi expert, you can still hop on Radium and swap your tokens without breaking the bank or losing your patience.
It's all about accessibility. Raydium is making DeFi less intimidating and more user-friendly. But that doesn't mean they've forgotten about the DeFi veterans, the ones looking for those next-level opportunities. And that's where dual reward farming comes into play.
Ah, yes, the holy grails of passive income. I'm always up for exploring ways to make my crypto work harder for me.
Well, with Raydium, you're not just providing liquidity and earning a share of the trading fees like you would on a typical AMM.
Okay, so what's the twist? How is Radium upping the farming game?
They're giving you RAY tokens on top of those standard rewards.
Okay.
RAY is Radium's native token, and it's adding a whole other layer of earning potential.
Hold on, so I'm earning trading fees, A&D getting RAY tokens just for providing liquidity. That sounds almost too good to be true.
It's the beauty of dual reward systems. But it gets even better. Projects can choose to offer additional rewards for specific liquidity pools.
Really?
So imagine this. You could be earning RAY tokens, trading fees, and tokens from a third project all at the same time.
Now that's what I call a DeFi power move. You're telling me I can stack rewards like a triple-decker sandwich.
You got it. It's about incentivizing participation, both for everyday users and for projects looking to boost their liquidity and visibility. It's a win-win.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. This RAY token seems to be at the heart of Radium's ecosystem. What else can you tell me about it?
It's more than just a governance token, which is what a lot of DeFi projects use their native tokens for.
You mean I don't just get to vote on proposals? Don't get me wrong, I love a good governance debate, but I'm also here for the financial upside.
And with RAY, there's plenty of potential upside. You can stake your RAY to earn a portion of the trading fees collected by the platform. That's on top of the potential for boosted yield farming rewards.
So it's like having a slice of the Radium pie,
Yeah,
earning passive income just by holding their token.
you could say that. They're also exploring a limited governance model, which is quite intriguing.
Limited governance. So they're striking a balance between decentralization and, making sure things run smoothly.
Exactly. It's a tightrope walk that a lot of DeFi projects are attempting.
Yeah.
How much control do you cede to the community while still ensuring the platform's stability and long-term vision? It's a fascinating challenge.
That's what makes the DeFi space so captivating. It's constantly evolving, pushing boundaries, experimenting. It's like the Wild West. But instead of saloons, we have liquidity pools, and the pioneers are coding cowboys.
I like that analogy. And just like the Wild West, there are risks and rewards around every corner.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question. Will Radium succeed in its mission to make DeFi faster, cheaper, and more accessible?
They're certainly addressing the right problems, and their approach is both innovative and ambitious. They're not just building on top of existing infrastructure, they're creating something new, something potentially game-changing.
But will it be enough to onboard the next wave of DeFi users, the ones who are hesitant about the complexity, the fees, the uncertainty?
That's the big question, isn't it? Will Radium's user-friendly interface, its emphasis on speed and affordability, be the catalyst that finally brings DeFi to the mainstream?
Or are there other, perhaps even bigger, challenges that still need to be addressed?
Challenges like regulation, security concerns, and the constant evolution of technology itself. It's a dynamic landscape, and staying ahead of the curve requires constant innovation and adaptation.
And a bit of healthy skepticism, I'd say. It's important to ask the tough questions to understand the risks as well as the rewards.
Absolutely. Critical thinking is crucial in any emerging market, especially one as complex as DeFi.
Which is why we do these deep dives, to equip you, the listener, with the knowledge and insights you need to navigate this exciting but often overwhelming world.
Knowledge is power, as they say. And in the world of DeFi, a little bit of knowledge can go a long way.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Raydium, I'm curious to hear what's resonating with you. What aspects of Raydium's approach stand out to you the most? Are they reinventing the wheel here, or is this something genuinely new that could change how we think about DeFi?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's an easy answer. What Raydium is doing, building on Solana, integrating with Serum, it's ambitious.
It really is. We've covered a lot of ground here, from tackling those pesky Ethereum gas fees to exploring the intricacies of Fibonacci-powered market making. It's clear that Raydium is trying to address some of DeFi's biggest pain points.
And doing it in a way that doesn't require a PhD in cryptography to understand, which is a win for the average user.
Speaking of users, I'm curious, what's your take on their dual reward system? I mean, who doesn't love the idea of earning extra tokens just for providing liquidity? It's like getting bonus points for being a responsible DeFi citizen.
Right. And it seems like they've struck a good balance. Rewarding users is key, but they're also giving projects the tools to incentivize participation in specific pools. It's a smart way to bootstrap liquidity and attract attention.
It's like they've created this positive feedback loop where more users attract more projects, which in turn attracts even more users.
Exactly, and the RA token is at the center of it all. What's fascinating to me is that they're not just stopping at governance. The ability to stake RAY for a share of platform fees adds another layer of utility,
It's like they're giving users a piece of the action, a real stake in the platform's success.
which, in a way, ties back to their limited governance model.
Right.
They're trying to find that sweet spot between decentralization and, well, making sure the ship doesn't veer too far off course.
It's that classic DeFi dilemma, isn't it? How do you balance the ethos of decentralization with the practicalities of running a secure and sustainable platform?
It's a question with no easy answers. But it's exciting to see projects like Raydium grappling with these questions, experimenting, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And that's what makes this whole space so compelling, right? It's like a giant decentralized laboratory where innovation is happening at warp speed. It can be overwhelming at times, which is why we do what we do here, break it down, make it digestible, and hopefully even a little bit entertaining.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, knowledge is power, especially in the world of DeFi.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Radium, we're left with more than a few questions. Will their approach to liquidity and order books be the game changer they're hoping for? Will their focus on speed and user experience be enough to onboard the next wave of DeFi users?
Yeah. And what about the long-term implications of their limited governance model? Will it strike the right balance between community control and platform stability?
These are all questions that only time will answer. But one thing's for sure, Radium is a project worth keeping an eye on. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible in DeFi, and whether they succeed or fail, they're sure to leave their mark on this evolving landscape.
And as with any journey into uncharted territory, it's up to each of us to stay informed, ask the tough questions, and approach the unknown with a healthy dose of curiosity and caution.
I just said it better myself. So there you have it, a deep dive into the world of Radium. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep diving deep.